an actual physical meeting space and not in this Zoom meeting, I'd be clapping and walking up and saying, give it up one more time for. And so even if I'm babbling, it's probably less time than it would be if we were live. So thank you very much, Susan. Thank you, all of you, for sticking around as long as you have, because this has got to be the end of the open mic, and I've got to end with something from my book to close out the open mic like I always do. And thank each and every one of you. But the first thing I want to do is share one poem that is from this book, Shattering the Glass Ceiling, that is is actually looking through glass. And it actually also does appear in Tracks Down in the Dirt magazine. So this is another bonus one for both of these books. So this is a poem that is called Photograph 19th Century. And in both of these books, but it's bigger in this one, so I'm going to show it here, I also have it in Slovak translated, and you can see it translated as such. Of course you can't read it, but I'm just showing you that it exists there. This is a poem called Photograph 19th Century. That woman, that picture, the images of beauty and softness, of something that shouldn't be touched, that couldn't work, that can't work. The sepia toning, oh, how ancient, oh, the dependence, oh, the degradation. My mind has been cluttered. Society's a bastard. I can't see the woman. I see the hat, the feather, the adornments of beauty, the preposterous, impractical way she's meant to be seen and not heard. She's only an image. She was forced with an image. Is it a shame? Is it a sin? And now I've been tainted with the knowledge of society and the knowledge of its motives, and now I can't even see the beauty. I can only see the oppression. Oh, it's not like that anymore, they say, as I wipe the makeup off my eyelids and wonder who I'm trying to impress. Short one. Sorry for that one. And Wes might find this funny that I got a clapping, and might find it funny that the bookmark that I did to save that poem was the old original live at Cafe Aloha. I say Aloha to thing at Gallery Cabaret. The first weeks when it was running, I put these things up at the Gallery Cabaret as advertisements, and I have them sitting around here, and I use it as a bookmark for this, and I just thought you'd find that funny in Chicago anyway. But anyway, I was going to close this off by reading a couple of pieces that will be in, and I know that these are ones that are brand new that I haven't shared, but they will be in the eventual Cyberwit book called Testament. That's a tentative title, or a tentative cover. This first one is titled Only Considering Women's Rights. Wondering if I was the only one, wondering if anyone considered women's rights, especially after Roe v. Wade, I watched a television interview. Okay, it was on Comedy Central. Cut me some slack. The Daily Show conducts daily interviews, usually about relevant lunchtime poll topics, where the 70th Miss Universe talked about how she was bullied for gaining weight. So, even those who are perceived of as the most beautiful are also teased? But what stuck in my head is how she was going to rural towns to make feminine pads available to young girls, since many places don't allow women access to the most basic reproductive rights. Because we forget when, thanks to Obama, birth control is free in the USA, and that some parts of the world have it so much worse. I think of the third world countries who restrict women's rights, so I contemplate that hey, maybe we women don't have it so bad here in the USA. That's when I have to stop myself, remind myself that we women all have these rights, or wait a minute, we had these rights after fighting for them for too long in these quote-unquote United States. That if this is supposed to be the land of the free, then rights should be allowed to full-grown women, and not to missed menstrual cycles, not to mistakes, not human life, not living, breathing, voting human beings who do not have a heart. Go ahead, consider dates of fertilization, but don't consider the person hosting cells that may one day be a human being. For these chemical reactions, if they only had a brain with cognitive reasoning, would beg you to respect the woman first. So I was watching an interview with Miss America What an outdated symbol for the value of women. A woman from India talking about women's rights, and it made me wonder if I was the only one, wondering if anyone considered women's rights. Trying to do things that are relative that are just going on right now, and now I've got to do one that's about art, and it's about Texas a bit, and that's the last one I'm going to share with you, and it's called Oh No! Art? Is art not safe from Big Brother? Here's your last one. Remembering periods in history where it was the artists who were revered, leading decadent lives, I wonder if we artists now feel like we lead cushy lives, stuck aloof and aloft in our thoughts, too busy showing how life should be instead of fretting about how life really is. Witnessing the oppressive laws against all women, say, in Texas, to suppress abortion rights. For I recently read that a San Antonio sculpture was marked with an abortion rights message after San Antonio appointed approved a resolution recognizing abortion rights. Keep in mind, this is coming from the state most oppressing women and with their laws. In Dallas, an art fair is donating $50,000 of their proceeds to Planned Parenthood in vehement protest against SB 8, the state law signed by Governor Greg Abbott to ban all abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. It only made sense for the art organization, quote, to be a loud voice. Any impact we can make is going to be important, end quote. Other artists have joined these campaigns as well, strengthening all of our resolves to do anything we can to support the cause. Because I'm afraid that with these new Texas laws, because I've also read that because of these new Texas laws, even artwork about abortion is legally risky now, as activists behind a recent installation about self-managed abortion in Texas must now include signs warning of the illegality of this in states where this is illegal. Consider yourself warned. But haven't we been, with the barrage of laws that have befallen us, that artists must now include warnings about them accurately conveying the traumas of any step of this process that is so personal? As art exhibits such as this display warning signs in bright orange against a shocking blue beneath a pair of ominous eyes. They're all too aware, yes, beneath that ominous pair of eyes, all are all too aware of the ominous underlying message, that incredulous tone that the now legal mandates against women. Yes, they are ominous, indeed ominous, when artists must predicate their work, when the intention of their artwork is to, quote, advocate for general understanding and a greater understanding, and not to recommend or advise that any person do anything suggested in this art. Because who on earth would want to act based on artwork, based on things that make you think? Who would want that? Okay, yeah, who don't want to think based on art, right? Come on, what? That's the point. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all so very much for staying here as long as we have. We've run late. I apologize. Some people are really late for dinner or whatnot, and I want to thank you all so much. I want to give a super, no, everybody can unmute if they want to all applaud for Wes Hine, because I'm going to do it and I'm just going to sound like one idiot here applauding. But Wes Hine, thank you so very much. Thank each and every one of you. Thank you, John F. McMullen, McMullen, for hosting this endeavor, and you guys are the best. And yes, we will be here for the next one, which is October 2nd. It's always on the first Sunday of the month. And does anybody have anything they need to report? Wes, you have the links in there, and I've got the links already for the book, and that's Buskin' Blues. That's awesome. Does anybody need to report anything new? Oh, thank you. And if nobody needs anything, then we should all go bask in the luxury of how awesome poetry is. And thank you all so much for being here for so long. Thank you, John, again, and thank you so very much. And I will see you, if not sooner, in 1 month on October 2nd for a poetic license. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Or afternoon.
Good evening.